Hey guys, Xaryu here, and today I want to talk about the Q&A from yesterday with Holinka, Josh Allen, and Jeremy McIntyre. And instead of just playing the video, I'll just go ahead and go through all of the notes really quick with you guys. I'll link this down below if you want to read it yourself as well, a little bit slower, because I'm going to go through it pretty quick. And there's one very exciting announcement right at the end of this video, which you guys probably already know about. But here, it was a Q&A, so for the first, major part of this video, and then at the end there was an announcement. So gear acquisition, people were saying, since you can't buy things off vendors and you have to get things randomly, it's very difficult. They're adding a forge basically to trade in all your old gear so you can buy new gear. That's pretty cool. So it should be easier to get that piece of gear that you want, that elite piece of gear that you want, the normal piece of gear that you want. If you're missing, like, if you have one low item level piece that you want to upgrade this old, 7.2, you should be able to do it. Mounts, gladiator mounts are still character specific, but the vicious and prestigious mounts will be account wide. That's cool. Someone asked a question about that. The experience rewarded from PvP will be increased, but not to the extent of trivializing leveling. So whatever. That was a question about leveling in PvP. PvP gear. They want you to buy the previous season's look, but it's not going to be able to purchase until the season's already over. That was just some random question someone had. So if you're in that current season, you're going to have to actually unlock that gear itself. There's no vendor that you're going to be able to buy it from. Pretty self-explanatory there. Duels. So duels, this is one thing that, I'm very passionate about because I love to duel, and I feel like this expansion, I can't duel at all because of legendaries and stuff and working in duels and PvP templates not working in duels. So they're kind of looking at this. There's a lot of concerns with it. There's a lot of testing that needs to be done as far as applying PvP templates in duels. Also, they say that 1v1 war games might be on the way, which I would be very excited about. 1v1 war game, all my viewers, or do little dueling tournaments. There's so much I could do with that. Super excited with 1v1 war games if they actually allow that through. And down in the notes a little bit, they're talking a little bit about like a dueling area as well. So as long as there's some way to duel, I would be very happy. Because right now, you pretty much have to do a 2v2 war game, have two people sit out and have two people fight. And that's pretty difficult to actually set up if you just want to duel someone real quick. So hopefully this will fix dueling. World PvP is pretty much screwed right now for the same reason dueling is screwed right now, and they're kind of looking at that as well, but there are challenges with that as well, because if you add resilience in world, because right now everyone one-shots each other in World PvP, it's just stupid, but if you add resilience or healing reduction to try to balance things in World PvP, then someone's doing, say you get, 30% dampening whenever someone hits you, I think it's just their example, and you're doing like a quest, and then someone comes by to help you with the quest, AoEs you on accident, now you're taking 30% reduced healing. It's just kind of weird for World PvP as well. So yeah, they're kind of like, yeah, World PvP, it's kind of hard to balance that. So they're pretty much saying that was difficult. Here, they talked a while about solo queue. They talked a very long time about solo queue, and this is something that a lot of people think would be good for the game. I don't know if it would be good for the game or not. I think it would be really cool to be able to log in and press Q. I think that'd be freaking awesome. But all of this is basically saying it's hard. There's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of harassment that could be an issue. Solo queue versus queuing with a party is at two different brackets. It's a big time commitment basically to make this work, and you have to do it right, or else it's just gonna split the players in a while. It's very, very difficult, but they're looking at it. A solo queue in RPGs was more specifically what they were talking about here, because they already kind of have solo queue with skirmishes. Scrolling down here, finding groups. So kind of on the same topic as solo queuing, they talked about finding groups. Well, they want feedback on how the group finder is working, because a large complaint from the community is it's so hard to find games. So they're like, well, is the group finder not working? Why isn't it working? Is there something we need to do? Because we want to make it easier for people to PvP, obviously, to allow more people into the PvP scene, which is great, which is awesome. A lot of the stuff they're saying makes me very excited, at least that they're opening dialogue about this. What's wrong with finding groups? So that's cool. PvP template information. Basically, every class, every spec has different PvP template preset stats, right? So you're going to have a mage has a certain amount of intellect, or a certain amount of damage reduction on a certain ability, or damage increase on another ability. Every class has its own PvP template, and this information is kind of scattered across a bunch of different forum posts. It's not just posted in one area. So they're kind of just trying to find a way to convey this information, have it in one location. So if a PvPer wanted to look, they could just look it up and boom, see exactly what their stat template was. So that would be cool. It'd be important. Doesn't really matter that much, but it would be cool for me to be like, oh, okay, this is why this isn't hitting that hard. This is why it is. I have more intellect than this. You know, it would help me rationalize some things. Reward rating, PvP title rating reward ranges. Okay, so there isn't much value in just like holding the title cutoff range from players. I'm reading from here. Basically, at the end of a season, we usually use like Arena Mate or you know, Arena Tracker or whatever, the title cutoff websites to see how, you know, what the range is for rank 1, what the range is for Gladiator, what the range is for Duelist. Instead, Blizzard, 1 week before the season ends, is going to give us a number. This is an estimated number. It's not going to be exactly this. So it's if you're above that number, it doesn't guarantee you get that title. It's just an estimate. Problem with it is it's 1 week before a season ends. This number changes on an hourly basis. We would need like a tracker that updates on the website every hour, because I mean a number 1 week before the season ends doesn't really do much because that number is so volatile. PvP hangout area, talked about this briefly before. A players where we could go and duel, or just hang out, you know, in a PvP zone, so you have stat templates. It would be freaking cool. Class stacking in RPGs, they pretty much said, you know, it's a problem, but if some classes are a little bit better, that's okay, and we turn it off some abilities, and this is why. They're basically saying it's a problem, but, you know, whatever. Tanks in PvP, please no, Blizzard! It's funny, I talked about a lot of these things in my videos, but yeah, tanks in PvP, they're kind of saying tanks are sturdy and low DPS and able to harass players. It's kind of boring for a lot of people, but that's the way they are. They're at least being careful with it. They don't want them to be too powerful. They want them to be there, but not too powerful. They don't want them to be like freaking winning BlizzCon or something. I don't think. But they want them to be an option for certain counter comps or whatever. So that's pretty cool. Mistwalk, they talked about why they removed it. Honor talents versus stat templates. Someone asked, you know, why do you change honor talents sometimes versus why do you change stat templates? This is why, you know, they solve different problems. Skirmishes. So I guess there was a problem with skirmishes where, you know, people would queue up, but not everyone would join. So you'd have a 2v3 skirmish instead of a 3v3 skirmish, which is, you know, gets annoying pretty quickly. So they're doing it like a dungeon where everyone has to accept the queue before you get ported in. So that's pretty cool, I guess. Like I don't play skirmishes much, but that's definitely a pretty solid improvement from what I can tell. World Defense, this is just the World Defense chat that most people were talking about. World Defense channel no longer work. It's something to do with sharding, which basically means on a certain realm, and if one area gets too populated, they start splitting it to individual servers on that realm, so it doesn't get, you know, too laggy or too populated. It was the reason why Legion launch went so well, etc. So it's not really working because of that. Marks of Honor, basically you're gonna use your Marks of Honor to be able to buy something, because right now they're just sitting in your bank. There's not much to do with them, so that's cool, I guess. And they're going to increase the drop rate and, like, you know, other things like World Quest, Ashra, and other sources. Arena participation, so the arena participation is going pretty well right now, so that's pretty good. Because someone's like, oh, you know, there's almost no one on ladder, but actually comparing it to a season that's 12 weeks in Warlords versus a season that's 12 weeks in right now, there's more people playing PvP and Legion than there was in Warlords. That's pretty freaking awesome. And if you made it this far in the video, here's the exciting announcement. WoW Arena 2017 Championship. So there's a bunch of information on this. I'll try to summarize it as quickly as I can, but this is very exciting. More tournaments, more money, more hype. A tournament probably every weekend, every other weekend, at least a few times a month in the WoW scene is huge. Not only huge for the players, huge for the spectators, huge to bring people back into the game, because all the fans want something to aspire to look to. All the pros want something to practice for. If there's no tournaments, all the pros don't even take it seriously. This is exciting. Okay, so there's going to be, I think, a certain amount of cups this year. Cups are tournaments. The teams with the top 12 teams that have the most points from these cups are going to be going to regionals. Okay, instead of 8 teams. And 2 of those teams aren't Brazilian either. So there's really going to be 12 teams instead of 6 teams from NA. So that's freaking crazy. So 12 teams at regionals. There's more and more information on this. I might do an entire separate video on it. Basically, WoW Arena 2017 Championship is going to be awesome. Tons of tournaments throughout the year. Very, very excited about all of this stuff. And a quick little sad note, if this means I have to play Fire to compete in these tournaments, I've already said in the past that if I have to play Fire to get rank 1 or compete in a tournament or anything that actually matters to me, I probably will be playing Fire if I have to compete in these tournaments. If I can compete in them as Frost, if I find a really good Frost composition, or as Arcane, I'd much rather do that. But if I have to play Fire, it pains me. I haven't even leveled my Fire weapon. I have no idea how to play Fire, so I might be a Fire noob. But at the end of the day, if I have to play Fire because my team's like, look, Xaryu, you're my teammate. I need you to play Fire so we can play this composition, which beats this composition. I can't say no. I'm going to have to play Fire if I have to play Fire. We'll see. Which means I'll probably be trying at some of these tournaments. I don't know how well I'm going to be doing. I don't really have a set team. Don't know the players I'm going to be playing with. So hopefully I can get something locked down and play in these tournaments you guys can watch. But anyways, this is a pretty long video. Thank you for tuning in, guys. I hope this answered your questions about the Legion PvP questionnaire from yesterday. If you guys missed it, thumbs the video up if you liked it. Thumbs it down if you didn't. Let's talk about the stuff down in the comments. What do you guys think about all these changes, especially this last one? And yeah, don't forget to subscribe. See you guys next time. Peace!